First thing you notice when you use mulch on your garden is what really happens when you lay mulch down on your garden. You just lay it down and you walk away. Just what happens when you add a layer of mulch to your garden. And you know, in the garden, everything starts with soil. You start adding mulch, that soil is going to start to work for you. And if you can get the soil to work for you, you're ahead. What really happens when you put mulch on the ground? And I've got 15 things to share with you about that. And by number 15, I think you're going to be ready to try some mulch. And the first thing you're going to notice on a week like this week where it hadn't stopped raining is the water doesn't run off your garden. It doesn't turn it into a sloggy mess. It soaks in. It retains that moisture. The soil acts like a sponge. It's wet, but it's not wringing wet. You can compact it, but it still breaks apart right underneath there. And it is full of worms. Then the second thing you'll notice is as your seeds start coming up and everything starts growing well, there are no more little green weeds popping up everywhere. You can improve the soil and eliminate most of the weeds without chemicals, you're really ahead of the game. One question I get asked a lot is, can you use shavings or sawdust as a mulch? This right here is some kiln-dried animal bedding. It's not very expensive and it's very easy to put out. This breaks down very slowly because it is kiln-dried. When you start using mulch on your garden, this is what happens. When I laid that mulch down was the earth exhaled. The sun no longer baked it raw, and those tiny little invaders suffocated. Pretty quick, the fourth thing I noticed was the bugs came home. No, not the bad kind. The ones that dig, chew, and decompose. They were back. Followed right behind them were the fifth thing I noticed. The earthworms threw a party. They started tunneling and flipping the soil better than any tiller could. And then the fungus started to move in. Those white threads stretched underground. I think the plants were whispering through them. And then the seventh, that smell changed. Rich and foresty, sort of like compost cake. After all, we are building living soil. With no light and no chance, the eighth thing I noticed was the weeds seed bank had gone bankrupt. Well, got almost no weeds germinating. It wasn't too long after that I noticed I didn't have to pull the hose as much. That soil was like a sponge, even in the heat. Moderated the temperature, kept those roots cool. Now, the 10th thing I noticed was about the same time I stopped pulling that hose, was the plants exploded in growth. With no stress and no compaction, the roots go deep. They go wide and they go wild. And I also realized there weren't nearly as many bad pests. Healthy soil makes strong plants, and strong plants have fewer problems. Of course, I stopped tilling. That soil was fluffing itself. My shovel started collecting dust. Well, with the exception of the tree or two I wanted to plant. And number 13, those microbes go full throttle. Billions of microlife under that soil, churning nutrients round the clock. It wasn't too long and the garden became a forest floor. It was stable, it was moist, it was teeming. There was no bare soil in sight. And as that microlife takes hold, it attracts bigger microlife, the predators, the life that eats that bacteria and fungus, which makes that nutrients plant available. It's ultimately all about building healthy soil. These sweet potatoes that we planted bear root, they're coming up really well. We got corn and beets. Has anybody ever said you can't have enough beets? You'll know when it starts to get thin because you will have a few little seeds start to come up. I never said I didn't weed, I said I didn't like to weed. And this makes it virtually weed free. So when you're doing this, just clean up the if you have anything sprouting, it's okay to clean it up. You don't have to if you're going to put it in real thick. I like to clean up the tomatoes and anything around them, and then mulch back heavy. I do like to use this animal bedding just because it's easy to move around. And then you place it where you want it. And the 15th thing I realized is I'm not really gardening anymore. Nature's doing it. But the hardest work that I do now is harvest, and you can do this too. And that's what happens to your garden when you start adding deep mulch. We could probably get a little bit more, and they would probably be a little prettier if we sprayed, but they wouldn't taste near as good. So until next time, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.